Welcome to SBC Eagles Radio. I'm Jonah Castle, along with my co-hosts Michael Grolnick and Felix Robinson. Today we're going to be talking about the Eagles' offseason moves. We're going to start with, how do you guys think the Eagles will be next season? We'll start with Felix.
Well, obviously it's hard to tell before what we do in the offseason, but right now, looking at the team we have, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be motivated out of his mind, and I think with a new addition of some running backs, we'll get to that later, the offense is going to be absolutely ecstatic. The thing I'm worried about is the defense. The loss of Javon Hudgrave and CJGJ in a league where scoring becomes higher every single year, I do not think we will be able to stop superior opponents in the NFC East and the NFC in general. Hurts will play great, the offense may not be there, and when you look at the data from Super Bowl teams returning next year, besides the Patriots, no one's been able to do it. This isn't our year, guys.
So you think the top five defense from last year is going to take a step back? That's an interesting take. Michael, what do you think?
Well, I maybe agree with about half the takes you said. I do think it's going to be a bit of a get-back year for Jalen Hurts, and our defense did slightly get worse with the loss of CJGJ and also Hargrave. However, the talks of Budda Baker are coming in, and I think we have a chance of getting back to the Super Bowl. You also mentioned how teams that went to the Super Bowl haven't really gotten back. You're right with, teams like the Rams and the Bengals and stuff, but the Chiefs have been there at least 4 times in the last at least 6 years. They also went back-to-back appearances when they played the 49ers and when they played the Bucs. I think the Eagles have a chance of doing it.
Well, I hate to say this, we're not the Chiefs. As much as I like to make the Mahomes-Hurts comparison, I do not feel like we're on the same upper echelon as them in terms of the coaching, in terms of the organization. And Hurts isn't quite at Mahomes' level yet. I think we're not as deep as the Chiefs, and I think teams that can return to the Super Bowl have to be dynasty-esque teams, such as the Chiefs and such as the Patriots, and it might take another year for us to step up to their level.
Jalen Hurts truly is a star. I don't know if he is on Patrick Mahomes' level yet. We're going to be taking callers. The number 555-444-2222. That is 555-444-2222. Make sure to call in. Jalen Hurts is a star. We're going to be moving on to another star. We're going to be talking about Budda Baker. You mentioned him earlier, Michael. He has requested a trade from the Arizona Cardinals, and he has said multiple times that he would like to end up in Philly. Do you think that this would be a good deal for Howie Roseman to make?
I think it's going to be an amazing deal. I have all my trust in Howie Roseman. Obviously had an amazing draft, but if Budda Baker comes to the defense, replacing that hole in the lineup with CJGJ, I think we might be able to make our defense even better than last year.
So I'm just going to totally disagree with you here, Michael, because the defense with Budda Baker is still not good enough. Because of the loss on the defensive line and our aging defensive line, it's not as good as it needs to be for us to go back to the Super Bowl. And adding him just takes up more cap space, gives us less draft capital, and makes us weaker going forward to get young players. Because like I said, this year is not the year. I hate to say it, Eagles fans, we want to win a chip every year. We need to go forward to the year after and the year after that and become a dynasty. And to do that, we need draft picks. And Budda Baker is not going to help us get more draft picks.
So Budda Baker deal could take up a couple Eagles draft picks. Might not be the best idea, but it could be a great idea because Budda Baker is a really, really good player. We're going to move on to a position that the Eagles have a lot of. We're going to talk running backs. The Philadelphia Eagles have acquired 2 running backs for the offseason, DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. Though they lost Miles Sanders, their running back room is still excellent. Who do you think, Felix, will be the best running back from the Eagles?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say it. I don't think Miles Sanders had such great numbers because he is Miles Sanders. He had great numbers because look at the guys he's running through. Look at the offensive line. They're who propels this running back room. And so you ever put in there, as long as they're fast, like DeAndre Swift, they're going to be able to get yards. But I think that the best guy we need in there, the guy who can move in space and the guy who can get off of blocks, that is DeAndre Swift. Rashad Penny, I think, was acquired to be his backup. DeAndre Swift is the guy who can get 1,000 yards and lead our offense forward this year.
DeAndre Swift, a very good player, but are you worried about his injury concerns?
Well, I don't think I'm too worried about his injury concerns because with the other running backs, we can phase him out and out so he's not getting an overload of snaps.
All right, we're going to go to Michael. Which running back do you think will be the best this year?
Well, I do agree with you, Felix. DeAndre Swift is an amazing player. Rashad Penny's very injury-prone. However, I think it might be Boston Scott. He's a breakout. He's going to have a breakout year. He's obviously a giant killer. Maybe he can become a killer of the entire league. I don't know about that one. But I think he's going to break out in a big way.
All right, 2 predictions, DeAndre Swift and Boston Scott. We'll keep talking about running backs after we get back from this break. This is SBC of Philadelphia Sports.